What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, the hype, episode 228. We got a lot of stuff in the hobby to talk about today. Mojobreak.com is the website, mojobreakshop.com, and we're also proud to introduce Mojobreak Gaming, which will kick off this week, this Friday, with the new Brilliant Stars Pokemon. So a lot of stuff going on in the trading card world. We're really excited for everything going on. We're going to talk a little Donruss today. We're going to talk about highs and lows of cards. The Luca Doncic card is falling. The Wander Franco card is rising. And then at the end of the show, we're actually going to talk about how to become a breaker. We're going to me and Dan dropping a little masterclass on you guys for free 99. We got some giveaways to do today. I'm joined by C-Rad and Emily. Emily, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Happy to be here. It's my first appearance on the hype.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yo, I just gotta say, people probably tired of our voice, so it's probably good to have some new blood on the show for sure.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Emily.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome
you.
in. Welcome in.
Happy
We should have
to
had
be here.
some balloons or something
Yeah,
pop out. Or
a
some
cake at least,
pyrotechnics.
guys. Come on. Expecting that next time.
Right, I know. Next time we have to do that. So, and then we got super producer Dan.
Yeah, I'm still
filling
here.
in.
Don't trip.
Filling in.
Don't trip. I'm still here.
You know what the comments are gonna be right away, dude. You got kicked out the show, bro.
What up? What up?
We could only do it too many Rams fans. We had to move them
Yeah.
out
Oh,
of the shot.
dude, Ramley.
So, anyways. Well, let's kick off the show talking about Donruss basketball, guys. Coming out this Friday, always a staple in the hobby. You've got next day autographs back. I think for a few years, C-Rad, if I remember correctly, they weren't in it.
Just last year, and it was a big misfire for that product because that's generally pretty much what people are going for. Besides some of like the early Raider rookie base cards, right? So it's a good thing that they brought it back this year. But it was because of the they weren't able to get guys to come in and sign for them in person
During the pandy.
Yeah.
During the pandy. So, I mean, the cards look pretty cool. I think we're down to one auto now, so they've definitely decreased the auto content. We'll have to see, how often the next day autos fall. I'm thinking it's not going to be a next day auto every box, right? So,
Yeah.
And then what do you expect from was this the third year of the Marvels?
Yeah.
So they seemed pretty plentiful last year. Do we think there's still going to be a demand for the Marvels this year?
Yeah, we'll see about on that front because the first year Marvels highly sought after. You were getting like maybe a couple of them a box. And then last year, probably due to the fact they didn't get as much autograph content with the next day autographs. I'm assuming they probably, wanted to up some of the more popular inserts. And Marvel was one of those inserts that like you saw a ton of them in every single box. So we'll see this year. Hopefully they scale it back because it was people's favorite insert from the first year, like, especially people who were into comic book designs. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, definitely excited for that. Now, Emily broke some basketball on Monday. She did a little bit of elite on Mojobreak.com. And what was that like, breaking basketball?
It was fun. It was my first break that I did, so I know I have a lot to learn, but it was good to kind of jump in there and get my feet wet. Saw a couple of big names that we pulled. Somebody we're going to be talking about today on this episode with Luca. Got one of his autographs in that one. So
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Cody pulled that one. But I think me being there
You're in
helped,
spirit. Yeah,
helped
it just
kind of
made the card come out of the box.
Exactly. So I'll take
Absolutely.
a little bit of credit for that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
And that was the first time you had opened some packs. Was it kind of all the? And this is kind of going to segue into our later topic that we filmed yesterday about how to become a breaker. What do you think? What were your perceptions of going in, and then what turned into reality while you were getting into opening the packs?
Yeah, my perception going in, I thought I was going to be just owning it and just crushing it, and it was nowhere near that. I was a little nervous, not going to lie. Once that, what do they call it, the red light, once that comes on and you're on camera, and that's something in my career I'm used to being on camera, but that was a different kind of avenue for it. And especially, you want to make sure that you're not doing anything that's going to damage the cards or hurt them, so you're just really focused on not only opening a pack and what's going on the card, but you're also having to be mindful of handling them the right way and still kind of keeping the flow going. And people are there obviously wanting to see what they get, so there was a lot going on that I was not expecting to be, but I liked it. It was a lot of fun. It's something I want to do more so I get better at it. But
yeah, I think my biggest fear now is if my fingernails are trimmed before I go on camera, because you're like a hand model at this point. Right?
Yeah, I know. I was like, is my nail polish okay? I still have like Valentine nail polish on. I need to like get that. I need to get a manicure before the next break.
Yeah, I mean, any new breaker will tell you like exactly what you just described. You know, all of us when we started, I'll speak for me specifically, but I know this probably has with same thing for Doug and Dan. In the beginning, you're like so careful and you're in your head that it, you know, like the newer breakers, they tend to take a little bit longer to open things because you are very aware that, man, this is somebody paid for this. So I need to make sure I'm doing my best to protect their investments, right? So I know in the beginning for me, I was like, it was like I started off with the easy product when I first started breaking, which was only a 5-ounce product. There was only 5 cards in the box, and so you could literally go card by card, right? It was very easy. But even that quick break, what I would probably be able to finish that break now in 5 to 10 minutes and still, you know, protect the cards and stuff. But I think that break took like over like an hour and a half, maybe 45 minutes, just for those 5 boxes with 5 cards. And for those that know what I'm talking about, it was 14-15 Paramount was my very first group break that I ever did.
You've come a long way, and now you have a mailbag where people ask for your autographs. So it's
oh yeah, I will get that out, by the way, to the Vikings fan, to the Vikings employee.
Wait,
I got you,
really?
bro.
Someone asked? That's amazing.
Yeah, I gotta get that out. I'll send you one of these cards right here with my autograph on it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. That's the one you need to sign, you know, around the back there. But yeah, C-Rad's a local celebrity. He gets people send him bottles of stuff after he pulls them cards. And
well, yeah, I mean, you know, I appreciate it. I have a favorite.
It's not needed, but it's appreciated.
A lot of our you know core customers, they know my favorite drink. So
Yeah. What is that? Can you share?
oh yeah. I like to tequila Patron.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's one that I've had sent over a couple times.
Yeah, I've learned. I mean, I know this is a kids show here, but I've migrated into the clear myself, whether it be that or vodka. But once again, kids show.
Well, I like Chardonnay, so Chardonnay is what I call it. If somebody wants to send me a bottle.
Chardonnay, is that the correct way to say it?
Chardonnay. So
Chardonnay,
heads up for the future, everybody.
Oh yeah. I have a feeling you'll probably already get some in the mail next week. I'm just saying.
Can't wait.
What about Dan? Dan needs something.
Dan,
Dan, how much time do we have for?
I'm honestly trying not to mess us up over here. So it's a lot going on right now. I'm learning on the fly.
Producer Dan, he's trying to get us right.
Yeah, I like booze. I'm a big fan.
He's like, I can use some right now.
Yeah, sure. I sure can. No, I mean,
man.
I'm always on a wine kick.
Yeah.
Always on. You guys can't even see me because Cody's chair is like I'm low riding over here.
Yeah, it's a good look.
But yeah, I'm always into Kettle One vodka, one of my go-tos. I like what Doug's saying, keep it clear. I was on a Scotch kick for a while, but that catches up with you.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Careful.
And beer, I don't know. I like it all.
I like it.
I like
Look
it
at
all.
us.
Yeah.
All over the
Back
place.
to the
I
back
like
to the
it.
headphones.
Sophistication there. That's what we're talking about, right?
Is it?
I guess so. Well, let's pivot over to where in the world is Upper Deck? Where are they? Haven't had a product in a while. I think we've had MVP, which is a lower end hockey product, but I think the other companies have came out with 10, 15, 20 products, and they've came out with one. Now I think Series 1 is slated to come out next week. I know they have the checklist out, but it's gotten pushed. We don't know exactly what's going on. One could speculate that maybe they are on the table for Fanatics. I don't know. But it's very strange that we have very few hockey products for the 2021 season. We're already into the 2022 season, 21-22 season, and we still have the Cup. We still have Premier. We have a lot of products that have not come out yet. We have Clear Cuts. There's a whole long list. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of the Cup. I want to see, Lafreniere's RPA and, chasing those Sidney Crosbys and things like that. So we haven't seen that. So, I know this is obviously a pure speculation, segment here, but, C-Rad, what do we think? What's going on?
It's very strange. Just a simple product that usually comes out every year too, and I keep mentioning this on the actual live feed when we're breaking. Goodwin Champions. So that's a product that usually comes out we get that every around May-ish. So I've been pumping that product since May of last year, and every week goes by, it gets pushed back again. So I'm like, where is it, Upper Deck? Where you at? You know, I enjoy the, obviously, I was very much looking forward to the AEW product that came out, and it did turn out to be nice. There's a nice secondary market for it. But yeah, like you were saying, where's the rest of their hockey line, man?
I mean, they did maybe print a lot of Space Jam, which I don't think we've even gotten the Space Jam hobby yet.
Yeah.
Which by the time it comes out, might be nobody will care about Space Jam cards anymore. I mean, there is Michael Jordan cards in there. I think Dan's got something to say.
There's a product that came out either today or Friday, 2021-22 O-Peachy.
Okay, yeah.
So
we've got another one.
We got another one. Don't trip. We're good.
And I love Upper Deck. I mean, their customer service is second to none, and a lot of their designs we talk about are great. You know, they only have the hockey license, but they do have the Michael Jordan exclusive. They have the LeBron autograph exclusive. So they got these licenses, and you know, we want to see some more product. You know, Emily wants to break some more hockey.
I need hockey, guys. Come on. That's how we're gonna really get me in here for that hockey. So let's get those hockey cards.
Trevor
rolling.
Zegras, right? I mean, we want to see some Trevor Zegras
cards.
cards.
Not last night though, because he scored in the shootout and the Sharks
he
lost.
did.
He did.
Oh.
He and Ricard Raquel. So yeah. But yeah, he's an exciting player.
But that's
to watch
increasing
right
his
now.
value of his card.
This is true. Right? This is true. So we'll allow it.
Yeah, I mean, a few months ago, we were like, okay, they were telling everybody that they had production issues, just like Panini and Topps, and we're like, okay, yeah, we understand because everybody's having production issues, right? And then as the months go by, you like you said, Panini and Topps are putting out not their normal amount of products, but they're putting out products,
right?
And then Upper Deck is kind of like, here's one product this month for you, and it's strange.
Yeah, I mean, there's part of me, if you follow the money here with what Fanatics has done, they just acquired Mitchell & Ness, right? So I think for $250 million, they bought Mitchell & Ness, along with some other partners. I believe Maverick Carter's involved, which makes the situation, makes you wonder even more. Maverick Carter hooked up with LeBron James, right? Does some businesses with LeBron James being an Upper Deck exclusive guy.
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of, and then Mitchell & Ness is kind of like, if you look at Mitchell & Ness, obviously it's throwback jerseys, and that kind of plays to the demographic of the 30, 40-year-olds, right? Mm-hmm. And if you look at the Exquisite brand, what does that play off to? The 30, 40-year-olds, right? Yeah. So I don't know if it's a situation that's going to happen. Upper Deck obviously hasn't said anything. There's no rumors about that, but it almost like maybe the chips are falling into place for this to happen. Now, I know the great Richard McWilliam, who passed away, I think, in 2010, who started and founded Upper Deck, had some issues, lost some licenses, but also created, what we know of cards today. Hits were pretty much created with Upper Deck. He passed away. There was a lot of financial problems with the Upper Deck as a company, and his wife runs the estate along with, I believe, her brother. I could be speaking out of turn here. And I know there was a problem with them being in debt. So I don't know if a few good years have maybe cleared up that debt, and maybe they don't want to be involved as much as they were anymore, and maybe they're waiting for the right time, and might be the right time to do it. So who knows? And that could make maybe why the products haven't been coming out the way that they are supposed to, because supply chain issues. Then why isn't Panini and Topps facing those same issues? That's what I don't get, right? So,
and they are. It's just not to the extent that we've seen with Upper Deck.
Right.
It's like, imagine a world where we were only getting like one or two Panini or Topps products a month.
I know.
Will we be sitting here?
Ramen. That's what would be going on. Instead of ordering good salad for lunch, it'd be like, hey, what flavor ramen do you guys want?
Yeah.
So we'd have no products to sell at that point. So, tequila. It wouldn't be tequila. It'd be Gilby's in the clear bottle. That's what we'd be getting sent
Proper
to us.
12. Give me that Irish whiskey, lad.
So, I mean, but then that opens up your possibility of getting LeBron logo man autographs and possibly Jordan cards again that are licensed, because as of right now, and the only cards you get of Jordan is him in a Hanes tee or him golfing, because they can't use the licensing. And they do have the memorabilia license, so they make the nice memorabilia pieces that we have in Mojobreak shop. But you don't have that right now. So I think collectors, you'll see some of these big sales of these exquisite cards, and you kind of can just dream, if that comes back, what those cards would go for. I mean, could you imagine another dual logo man of Jordan and LeBron surfacing? I mean, it probably won't go for the old exquisite prices, but I mean, man, that'd break some records.
I know, as a mainly basketball collector, I know that community is like, we've been dying for that forever. And if that were to happen, if that were to happen sometime in the future, it'd be the biggest news in sports cards.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Who's your favorite basketball player?
Oh, not currently playing, but Larry Bird will always be my favorite player.
Nice.
Number 33. I almost wore my shirt today that says the Hick from French Lick. It's one of my favorite shirts. But yeah, Larry Bird.
Is he still involved with the Pacers organization?
Last I checked, I thought, but I'm not totally sure. But yeah,
he was ahead of his time with the 3-pointers and the 3-point contest and trash talking. If only we had him mic'd up back then. You might have to edit some stuff out.
Yeah, there was a really cool story that just came out about him, about a bar fight that he had, and he had to tape his hand to play the next game and bet a reporter that he couldn't shoot a certain amount of shots.
That's funny.
Yeah, really cool stories.
Goes back to what we were talking about off air about social media back then. Could you imagine if you would have Larry Bird beats up a guy in a bar and it's like, okay, now he's suspended for 5 seasons or something, So good thing there was cameras back then. So the highs and lows of the hobby is the next topic. And thank you, Card Ladder, for following along with some of these sales. And we're going to discuss, first we're going to start off with Wander Franco, which there was a card, which is just silly. You can see it on the screen here for you guys, is the Wander Franco, which just came out of Series 1 that just dropped last week as we were doing the premiere and everything. And somebody graded it. So somebody must have sent it and spent like $500. So this card raw is currently trending around $16, right? This person sent it in, and it's the first one graded, and it goes for over $2,000. Is that a fool with their money, or is that something we're not seeing, C-Rad? What do you think?
I think we discussed it in depth enough last week for people to know that this is like a ridiculous price for this card. There is going to be – now, with that said, we do have to factor in now that grading is more expensive, but – when people see that this sells for over $2,000, people are going to have no problem sending this for the $50 service, like 10 of them or something. You know what I mean? 20 of them, 50 of them. So I think like especially what you were saying last week, Dan too, with the how much was printed in a couple years, this could have one of the highest pop 10s of all time.
Of all time, yeah. I mean, that's not even counting like the other grading companies that people are going to send them into.
When you're thinking about like when we're talking about like comparing to like the Griffies and stuff, like this is gonna be up there then.
But it's actually a crazy phenomenon. Obviously, I would not pay anywhere near this for this card. If you have patience, you can get it for a lot less. So this is a common card. So it's just it's not serial numbered. We don't know how many they've made. We know that they've up the production run on these cards now to the point where there's a lot. There's a lot of that single card being made, but that happened to be the first one graded. But I almost feel like it gives a bad perception to the hobby. Like somebody that's jumping in thinks that they're going to buy a box now for, let's say they buy a hobby box for $150, and you almost get a Wander in every box. And so are people literally going to be like, I have $2,000 now?
Yes.
Is that one that's sold, or that's just what it's listed for? Okay, so somebody bought that for that price.
We just don't know if it was paid for. That's the thing we talk about on the show all the time. We don't know if these auctions are actually paid for, so we can't verify if somebody had actually bought this for this price. But based on what we can see that it's sold. It had bids on it, but we don't know if it actually got paid for.
Yeah, and what that and pop one mean there's only currently one in the population. But by speculation, we know that could be close to 1 million individual cards. So technically, somebody could grade, like eventually they could all grade them all, and there could be 1 million in the population. So now it's not scarce. But I just you guys out there listening to our show, if you have friends that are jumping in and they're getting in on the top Series 1, just make them aware that this is kind of a funny sale. It's just somebody overpaid to have the first one, which will only be the first one for maybe another couple days, and then fast forward a year, it's going to be one of many. So it was just the first to the market. I think took advantage of it. But we're out of Series 1 Jumbo right now. We're low on hobby, and we've never sold as much that we've sold ever. And there's may not be any baseball. So it's really a crazy phenomenon, right?
And I'll just think about now, like we were talking about the price of boxes before we went on air. It's like this makes sense now why like people are clamoring to go buy these boxes. They're like, I can make $2,000 off of this because I know I'm gonna get a Wander.
Right.
Now, will it get a PSA 10? I don't know, but I know I'm gonna get a Wander if I buy a box for $200. Like, I could print money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, don't quit your job just yet by just opening boxes. That's not a way of providing your income. But it's good that in a way it's good that the Series 1's doing well because it's a fairly affordable price point compared to most.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of value, you get a lot of cards, and you're going to get these Wanders, and you're going to chase the Wander parallels and things like that. That's a good thing. So don't mistake when I'm saying that this is fool's gold. It's just this price is. I mean, this is going for more than a Bowman first.
Yeah, that's an unsustainable price for that particular card.
Yeah. So, I mean, if somebody's willing to give you that for your card, I would sell it for sure and buy it in a couple months, for that reason. But so you can actually see on the card sales data here, and I should have got my iPad. My eyes are getting bad here. But the Wander Auto peaked about 6,000, and now the Wander Auto is around 3,000. So you can get a base card. There's a million of them, or you can get a auto for just a few thousand, like $1,000 more, which is technically his best card. So the first Bowman is going to be his best card. So it's crazy that goes for that amount. Dan, any thoughts on this Wander Franco madness?
Well, we've talked about it before that this is not a short printed set. They make a lot of Series 1, and when all the grading companies get out of this backlog, this may be the highest graded card pop-wise in history.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, they made close to 1 million boxes of Hobby. We're not counting the hanger packs. We're not counting blasters.
Sets.
We're not counting the complete sets or anything like that. So 1 million Hobby boxes right out of the gate. That tells me there's close to 1 million Wander Franco rookies, not counting jumbo.
And not counting retail.
Not counting retail. So this could be the highest popped rookie card ever. Just think about that for a second, and think about somebody bought it for what, $1,300? What was the first
$2,000.
$2,000? Sorry, I'm like scattered over
You
here,
got a
but
lot
yeah,
going
no. I mean, it's crazy, right? Crazy.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Could it? We are basically jumping to the conclusion that Wander Franco is better than Mike Trout.
Yeah,
based
with that
on
price.
the value that his card. I mean, how much was a Mike Trout rookie in 2011? It wasn't $2,000.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Emily was doing, how much, what was his salary? 180 million or something he signed a contract for?
Yeah, 182 million for 11 years. He just signed.
That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
and that shows you that the organization obviously believes in him, but I don't think this is I would just, obviously, if you have $2,000 to spend, then I would look at other avenues rather than try to buy a numbered card when it all settles down, I mean, this is going to be a card to own. I'm not saying don't own it, but just don't get that FOMO and feel like you have to get it now.
Do you think that drives up the price when people get big contracts like that? If you're comparing that to Mike Trout and like when he was first starting out and didn't get that.
I think it helps a little. It shows that he's going to be there for a while, and I think that makes collectors feel comfortable. So it does help. But the hobby's weird. They'll latch on to guys. I mean, people are still paying for Zion, and he's not even playing. So I mean, sometimes hobby outweighs performance too.
Right.
So there's just guys that have people have gravitated towards certain guys, and they stick with them regardless of their play on the field. But Wander was a top prospect before he even made it for years. So there was already a lot of people collecting him. And I think with the new collectors that jumped in this last year, and now Series 1 comes out, and there was a lot of buzz. And kudos to Topps. I guess the rip parties and stuff helped, and all their marketing. I don't know if that was, I don't know if Fanatics stepped in on that, or Topps is still running the way that they were running operations. But I can't remember a year. I mean, 2020, we didn't really have a big name. Is that all it took was just one big name to?
Yes.
That's what it is, right? So if you don't have that big name, sometimes the hype doesn't, no pun intended, but the hype doesn't really carry on.
Yeah, if you ain't got the Judge, you don't got the Otani, you don't got the Wander, then we seen it 1 year where we didn't have a big name.
I mean, what is this? What does this do for Chrome and, Definitive?
It's going to be a frenzy.
It's going to be so. Baseball is going to. I mean, I don't think it'll overtake basketball, but I think it may closing the gap compared to last year, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be up there this year, which actually I've been saying it's gonna be nice because the football prospects this year, the rookies coming in this year, there's not a lot of high draft picks that are gonna be like the skill positions like quarterback. So we might see a drop in. I feel like we're gonna see a drop in football a little, and the baseball is gonna like make up for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Isn't Wander's nickname like El Patron?
Oh man,
Is that
Oh,
your
damn,
guy? Is
dude.
that your
I gotta
favorite
collect
player
them now,
then?
dude.
Is that? I'm pretty sure it is. Am I making this up? I'm pretty sure it is.
I
Is that
have
your
no idea.
your new guy?
I guess so.
but
What?
his favorite team is the Raiders.
No.
Sorry.
I'm Rams now.
He's
Whose
Ra-
house?
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
Ramley.
So he's a Raider fan.
Whose house? Rams house.
Rams
What's
house.
up? What's up?
Yeah, I'm still support Oakland Athletics though. They're still in Oakland. That's the most
For
important
now,
part.
yeah.
So C-Rad,
Yes.
next year it is the Rams Raiders at home at SoFi.
Yeah.
You're going. You got to go. I'm going.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Raider hat, Rams jersey.
You're gonna
Oh, there you go.
you're gonna get it. You're gonna
I'm
get
gonna
it.
do
You're
the
gonna get
half
the
LA
custom.
thing.
You're gonna get the custom thing where like the A's and Giants, like back in the day, like the
89,
half A's,
yeah.
half Giants hat.
I'm gonna do a half LA hat. So it's half colors of the Rams and then half color of the Raiders on this side. But it's gonna be LA.
Tell me where we can
How,
find
how do we feel about that?
custom made.
All right, whatever.
Hey,
I'll
I always
take-
said I thought it'd be a funny segment if I had the time to go around to stadium events and wear like both teams that are playing and just see the reactions of fans and try not to get in a fight for one.
Oh,
but
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be hilarious and somebody that has the time can run.
I think
run
it would
with
be
this.
funny if you
Like you go to a Yankees Red Sox game and you have
Oh,
a Yankees
no.
hat, a Red
There's
Sox
no
jersey.
way. There's
No.
no
But
way.
and then you cheer for everything.
I like that. I also like going to a game and once the team is winning,
Switching?
you just peel off a layer
Yeah.
and then you're like, now I'm this team. You're like high-fiving everybody.
Yeah, I've seen those memes. Those are hilarious.
Other team comes back, you put the other one back on. You make sure you stay in that same section so everybody is seeing you do it. I'll do it with you.
Or
I'm
go
down.
get a beer and then just come back wearing the other.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That would be a great. I mean, like you said, you might have to fight your way out of that place, but
Yeah, gotta
Nah,
be
you'll
careful where
you'll
you
be
go.
good.
yeah, Red Sox Yankees would be a bad one.
Yeah.
Dodgers
Careful.
Giants.
Don't do that there.
Or what? Kings and Sharks.
Sharks and Golden Knights. That's
Oh,
their
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
rival right now. So
Yeah, go to
that'd be
Vegas
that
wearing a
one.
Sharks hat, Vegas jersey.
Yeah, I don't think that'd.
Yeah,
be
I
a
went
lot.
to a King Sharks game in LA with my Shark stuff on, and nobody even noticed.
Yeah.
But Vegas, you got heckled, I think, right?
Yeah, we gave up 4 goals in the first period in a playoff game. Nobody cared either. We were just getting blown out.
Yeah.
But,
Couldn't defend yourself at that point.
But I did have my buddy almost get kicked out because it's a long story, but maybe for another podcast.
So yeah, if somebody could do that, that'd be hilarious to just see the reaction because some fans are so passionate. If you're just you're like high fiving when the Red Sox score, and then you're high fiving the Yankees fan when the Yankees score, and just getting that and making that go viral. That'd be a great
I think
idea.
everybody would hate you.
Then you'd have both teams teaming up against you, right?
Oh, that'd
You're
be bad. You
yeah.
think both teams will like you, but then both teams start hating you.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been a
Yes, yeah.
Yankee fan for like 13 minutes. Come on. Like,
But see, that's almost, I don't know, talking about fan etiquette, I actually, this is like an unwritten rule. Like if you show up to a stadium, like say, like let's say, for example, the Niners are playing the Rams. And then some Patriot fan shows up wearing the Patriot. Like, why? I hate
can't.
That's
that.
weird. That's
can't.
weird.
No, we have a segment at the Sharks that we do. It's called Lost Fan Cam. And it's
Nice.
basically just putting a camera on people who are wearing jerseys that are completely different teams. I don't understand it. I think it's different if it's like, let's say you're wearing a Dallas Stars jersey to a Sharks game and it's an Andrew Cogliano jersey. So you're still supporting the player. I get that.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody who's completely different team, I don't get. I mean, maybe you're just showing your love of the sport. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think it's weird as well, but I also think that the person's probably like, I want to go watch a live sporting event. My team is not. I'm not from here, but at least I can kind of rep them and still
Yeah.
go watch a live sporting
See,
event.
I think that you just got to wear a shirt and not. You just show up in a regular shirt.
You gotta
Is that all
represent
you got as
where
a
you're
jersey? That's the
from,
only
dude.
piece of clothing you have? Is that that Cowboys jersey when the Rams and Niners are playing? That's all you got? You can't wear anything else? I mean, now I even give people a pass if, like, say it's like deep in the season and like say the Rams and Niners and then the Seahawks are all involved in maybe a playoff race, and then a Seahawk fan goes to watch the outcome, I even give them a pass there because then you have something on the line. But it's like when there's nothing on the line and you're just there.
Yeah.
And then you're opening your mouth too. You're like talking crap. You're like, your team's not even here.
Right. That's when you need to sit down. I think people that do that you're on one side. Either you're that very, very casual sports fan who you like sports. Maybe you just like the sport of hockey or baseball or wherever you're at with it, but you don't really have an affiliation, but like maybe your buddy loaned you this jersey to wear, whatever. You're either that person or you're that fan that is so diehard and so passionate about their specific team that you will rep it in any barn and you do not care who has anything to say to you. So you're on one side. You're not in the middle, I think.
But I think those people, maybe not all of them, but I'm sure at some point they're like, I want to get into a fight tonight, so I'm gonna wear this thing and see what people say to me. Right?
We don't like those people.
I don't have if you're going to a football game and you have no affiliation with it, I mean, and you have one football jersey. I mean, you're supporting you're supporting the sport, right?
No,
you're not.
Not okay. Not okay. Not okay. It's just you just don't do that. I'm sorry. Comment below here if that's you and tell me why you do that.
Let us know why.
It doesn't bug me as much as it bugs you. Like I don't care, but I get what you're saying. But let them do it. Let them do whatever they want.
I know it's a free country and that's fine. You can do whatever you want. I wouldn't be that guy. I'm saying if I went to the Ravens-Raider game, I didn't wear my Niner jersey. I didn't wear a Niner hat.
Thought crosses mine now. He's probably getting ready to
no,
go.
It did not because I'm not.
Like
that
I'm thinking
fan.
about putting my Niner hat on.
Nope, did not do that because I didn't want to be that fan.
Did you have your San Jose Giants hat?
No, I did my hair that day. So
is that because I'm like, is it okay to wear an affiliation with a sport that's not even playing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you don't even know what sport you're watching. You have no idea. You're totally lost.
Yeah, what about the guy that wears a basketball jersey to a football game?
Yeah, what about that person?
That's kind of weird too, I guess. A hat is different than wearing a jersey in my
what if
opinion.
it's like the same? What if you're wearing a basketball jersey to a football game, but it's the same
city?
Yeah, so you're like repping that town or like that area, right? Like, can you kind of go that way?
What if they play in the same arena?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because what if you have like tickets for that arena and you just kind of
what if you have a Lakers jersey on, but you're going to a Kings game and they play?
I think that's all right.
They both play at Staples.
Yeah, and they have crossover night too, where like the Kings will wear like Lakers inspired jerseys. So like, I think that's right.
Do you think people that go to McDonald's they wear hot dog on a stick in the McDonald's?
Well,
is that still around? Is hot dog on a stick still a thing?
If you show up in a hot dog on a stick uniform anywhere besides hot dog on the stick. Bruh.
That is the hardest uniform. I think they pay more because they have to wear those uniforms.
Shane worked there.
He did?
Yeah,
Nice.
Shane
That's
worked.
right.
Yeah,
Oh.
Shane worked.
Does he still have the uniform?
Just another thing for me to roast Shane on. Thank you.
I think they make you turn it in.
Oh, that's too bad.
Like when you quit, they're like, that jersey needs to come back, or that uniform.
I think we might have had. I worked at Baskin Robbins for 3 years. I think we might have had like a pink shirt.
So what about going to a sporting event dressed up like an employee from Hot Dog on the Stick? Is that okay?
That's okay. You're not.
Is that okay?
It's okay. You'd be getting a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah.
You might be like, how much for a hot dog?
Yeah, people will probably be trying to
They're
buy
like, hey,
something
man.
from you.
Yeah.
I've heard people like their lemonade.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I've heard
it's
lemonade's
pretty
pretty good.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, we're talking about inflated pop reports with, the possibility of the Wander Franco. Let's look at the result of that. So you've got the Luca Doncic 2018 Prism, and Luca's still beloved. I mean, still a top player in the league, still the unicorn of the league. And about 2 years ago, the 18 Prism, Gem 10, was around $2,000. Recent sales, this is according to Card Ladder, thanks for the data here, is now it's $400. And the reason for that is that we have a population report of 18,248 tens. Not even counting how many cards are made. We're talking about just the tens. There's 18,000 of them. And this is also a result of PSA was opened up back then. It was, you could do the $10, $20, $30 services. So everybody that had a Luka was sending it in. And they were also more lenient on grades. So you can kind of see how it trends down here. So that's kind of the idea of how good Wander Franco could be. I don't think it ever goes past $2,000 on that card, unless we go 20 years from now and he's won 5 World Series and he's a a Hall of Famer, and maybe then it'll approach the 2000. But you could definitely see here with this pop report, and it has to be that, right? It's nothing Luka's doing, right? Is because all the other Luka cards are going up, or at least not trending down like this. So when there's more out there and it starts to trend down, people start to get out of these cards. And now I think most people are even willing to take big losses on it just to move it because they have so many of them.
Yep. Collectors are, we got so many new collectors in the hobby 2 years ago, at the start of the pandy. So eventually people get educated on what they're doing, right? Eventually people get educated, and then they see that, wow, there's 18,000 of them. Like, it can't be that special what I have here, so maybe I should, let it go.
Right. And I think that's what you're dealing with. If you mean, smarter investments would be to, and I know some people that collect in the hobby hate that word, but dealing with maybe something that's numbered or that has a shorter print run, because we don't know how many more Lukas could still be graded. I mean, in 10 years from now, there could be 38,000 of these of these Lukas. And you kind of see the same thing with the Herbert. Herbert's going down too. Not as much of a pop report because PSA was shut down, but a pop report of 2,800 on Herbert's base. Had a fantastic year. One game away from making the playoffs, which was a successful season for a guy in his second season. And his cards have trended down. I wonder how much of this is the pandemic price. God dang it! Said it. Got to put the money in the jar now. The pandy
Show's
prices. Pandy prices.
Wrap it up.
I wonder if this has to do with the pandy pricing, where people were at home buying cards, and then now people are out spending their money on other things, and there's not as much of a eyeballs on these cards. What do you think?
How much is this Herbert drop?
You're looking at
It was current price is $410.
Mm-hmm.
High price was $13.50. Low was $315. And again, like when we look at this pop, it's only PSA, right?
Yep.
We're only talking one grading company. So add BGS to that, add SGC, add HGA, insert your grading company here. The pop is insane. Maybe people are going towards Burrow. Do we have probably no Burrow slide, but maybe
his has definitely been trending up.
And also we all know Prism. They made a ton. They made a ton of 2020 Prism. They made a ton of 2020, 2021 basketball Prism as well. And 18-19. And 19-20.
And all the recent years.
And 17-18, not as much.
No.
It was 18-19 is when I think they really
started ramping it up.
You started having I think you had the fast break and
lot of
the
different
choice
SKUs.
and the team all, but I think you had those before, but they weren't produced like they're produced now.
And you had the ability to grade anything at any price, right? So hopefully, I hate the word allocation of grading, but we can't grade all of these cards anymore.
We can't grade the 8th year.
You can't send
Steph
in every
Curry
card. card you want.
Right.
Every
then
single base card you
then
want.
there's no point at that point. So and you're seeing the same thing here with Tatis as well. Tatis, had another great season, arguably the MVP last year. Population of 10,800 on his PSA 10, and you could see that it's. I really need to get a bigger screen here. What do we got on pricing there, Dan? What was the peak and what was the low on that?
High price $526, low $155. Again, not a card that is short printed by any means. Current price is $173, so definitely trending on that low price as opposed to the high price. I can't believe this card was going for over $500 at one time.
That's insane. So that's going to tie into our giveaway, too, before we end the show here, guys. So the winner of last week's giveaway will be in the comment section. So contact us on that. It'll be in the subject line. But the giveaway for this week, we're going to give away a $150 in group break credit for Mojobreak.com, where all the breaks are happening 7 days a week, guaranteed to break, guaranteed to fill, Mojobreak.com. I want to know, out of these 3 cards here that we mentioned, the Tatis, the Herbert, and the Luka, which one would you be buying right now? Or maybe you wouldn't be buying any of them. But I want to know in the comment, and we're going to pick a winner at random for $150 in credit. And then I'm going to do a little roundtable. Which guy are you buying, C-Rad, out of these?
Oh, man. I mean, if you go strictly on the numbers, dude, it's hard to pick Luka.
Yeah.
But, for me, because I'm a mainly basketball collector, and see, like, there's a segment of basketball collectors now that are moving away from Prism, which is like, for me, it's like, it's still tough for me because I view Prism as like this generation's version of the Chrome card, right? So it's kind of sad for me to see that the population report for this is so high. So just from a pop report standpoint, like, it's hard for me to choose Luka. So I guess I would go with, and you guys know how I feel about Herbert, but I guess I would go with the Herbert because 2,800 looks a lot better than 18,000. It looks a lot better than 10,000.
Sure. You're right. Emily.
Yeah, I mean, after hearing that logic, I would like to choose the same, but I'm going to just, for the sake of this, choose something different. I would go probably with Fernando Tatis Jr. just because I covered him in San Diego, and I like him as a person and I like him as a player. So that's a card that I would want just from that standpoint, not just looking at the numbers. But if I had to choose one, that's what I would go.
Yeah, and right now it's off season, so you may be able to pick it up at the lowest price, and then he comes out and hits 50 home runs this year, and San Diego's finishing behind the Giants, but maybe they make the playoffs, and maybe they go deep into the playoffs. So I'm actually going to make a case for Luka, and the reason I'm going to do that is because you could tell people that it used to be a $2,000 card, and now you're in it at $400. So you could say, hey, I literally bought this at the right time. Now I don't know if it's going to continue to go down. Who knows? But he is a polarizing figure in the NBA, and a lot of people got their start in collecting with Luka. So I think he'll always be that, like, him and Zion, I feel like right now are the top. If you just take hobby, regardless of how their play is, which speaking of Zion, not to go on a side note, I guess J.J. Redick said he's never met a teammate more detached from a team than Zion Williamson.
Wow.
So I don't know if Zion Williamson's time is he's wearing thin over there, or J.J. Redick maybe.
Yikes.
But
Redick retired.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, there goes that argument. So I guess it's easier to play armchair quarterback when you're, when you're sitting at home rather than being on the team with him. But so I don't know. Maybe Zion goes to New York. But, yeah, I think Luka, I mean, it once was so much. Feels like a good deal now. Dan, where are you going?
Going Herbert.
Are
Based
ya?
on the pop report, it's easy.
I hate
Don't
Herbert,
even have to think about it.
But will he always be second fiddle to a Burrow now? That's my problem.
Hell yeah.
No. Whatever. I mean, before the season, we were sitting there talking about how he was probably going to be the guy. They were probably they were going to go after the Chiefs for that division. Sorry, C-Rad. I know you still were rooting for the Raiders this year, but you won a championship now, so don't worry about it.
I know, I'm a champion.
Yeah, you're a champion now, so don't worry about it. But based on the pop report, based on the season he had, both his rookie year, his second year, I'm going Herbert. I think he ends up going to the Super Bowl before Burrow gets back to the Super Bowl. How about that?
Interesting.
Hot take.
How about that?
Spicy take. All right. Well, that does it for this segment. Stay tuned. Coming up here next is our How to Become a Breaker segment. So hopefully you guys are entertained. And actually, we're only going to be playing about 20 minutes of an hour-long show. So stay tuned for the full show here on Mojobreak Media. So make sure you hit subscribe here at Mojobreak Media. Check out Mojobreak.com for your breaks and MojobreakShop.com for all your sealed wax needs. We have a local store here in Santa Clara. So if you're in the Bay Area, come by and visit. And MojobreakGaming.com. Bookmark that. We're going to be doing some Brilliant Stars. We're going to be doing some Digimon. We're going to be doing all the gaming trading cards there at MojobreakGaming.com. It's going to be streamed live, so you can pop in. Our friend Joe's going to be go ahead and run. He's going to be running that. He's going to be ripping packs for you guys over there. I believe there's a Brilliant Stars giveaway going on this week, so make sure you bookmark that and join the live. And if you got kids that are into it, or if you're into it yourself, he'll rip packs for you. You could be at home doing something else and get Pokemon ripped live for you there at MojobreakGaming.com. So, all right, we'll see you guys on the next segment.
Hey guys, I'm Emily Harlan with Mojobreak.com, and if you've ever wanted to know how to be a breaker, you're going to want to pay attention to this one, because we've got the pros with us here today, Doug and Dan, who are going to be answering some questions on how to be a breaker. All right, guys, ready to just jump right into it?
Let's do it.
It's a masterclass, $59.99 for this.
There we go. There we
Kidding.
go. We'll subscribe at the bottom.
You can do my class, $29.99.
Oh, jeez, they're on a bidding
better
war.
deal there. Okay.
And we're talking about group breaks. Part of it is undercutting. Back in the day when we were doing this, it was all about the race to the bottom.
It
so
was.
maybe we'll get into that later.
Okay, that's good. We will. We'll definitely go there. First question, I guess. What's the biggest challenge in starting out?
I mean, just building a clientele list and obviously making sure your break fills, because I think the biggest problem when starting out is that people get, one guy to buy in, and you maybe say you need 30, and now you have, one guy that's willing to jump in, and then he has to wait a week, 2 weeks, and now he's lost interest or he's found somebody that's breaking. So the main thing is when you're trying to sell a break to make sure it fills as same day.
So then how do you make sure it fills? What are the things that you need to do to make sure a break fills out?
Yeah, I mean, just be active on social media. And maybe starting out, what I would do is try to focus on breaks that have less spots. So you could do division style breaks, which for football would be 8, for baseball would be 6. And then, people would get 4 teams as opposed to just 1. So you're only looking for 8 people to buy as opposed to 30 or 32.
Yeah, and to reiterate what you're saying, also do not bite off more than you can chew. Do one break at a time. Also figure out the logistics of the whole break, not just performing the break, but broadcasting the break, sorting the break, shipping the break, basically getting all the way from point A to point B. Because we know that when it comes to group breaking, it's not just the actual breaking portion of it. That's like 10% of it. The other 90% is the logistics of shipping, getting the right top loaders, getting the right packing supplies, getting the right bubble mailers, all that stuff.
So when you guys were first starting out, where did you look at for your research to kind of get yourself ready to do that first break?
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot out there at the time, so it was a lot of trial and error, making mistakes and learning from those. So, I mean, that's going to be the thing that's when you are starting out is learning as you go, And there was a few guys that were doing some kind of things, but not on a scale of a business. So they were more just taking spots and breaks just so that they could have the cards for their team. And we always looked at it like we're facilitating this. We're a service base, and I think that's where the industries came now, is it's a service base. Initially it was more of a hobby thing, more of a just friends hanging out, and we just kind of developed that into that.
Oh yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I can't really add too much to it. I really want to. But you kind of just nailed it. So good job, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, with YouTube, it was challenging. There's a lot more features, and there's a lot more, things that are laid out for people now. They can watch us, they can watch Leighton, they can watch guys that have been doing this for a long time, and kind of take notes from those guys and see some of the things that are successful.
You had mentioned credibility. What do you think is the most important way to build credibility in this business?
Just 100% transparency, making sure that everything is laid out for your customers to see, obviously videos, maybe multiple angles if you need to, just to build that credibility with your customer base.
And what is an advantage of doing online breaks, would you say?
All right, let me go ahead and put myself in the collector's perspective. And when it comes to group breaks, it really allows you to pinpoint and centralize your collection. So if you are a collector of a certain team, say the Yankees, the Giants, the Sharks, the Red Sox, you could really focus in on those teams and not have to worry about teams and players you don't collect. So I think that's what really is from a collector's perspective. From a group breaker's perspective, it allows you to maybe move products that are not as desirable as like the National Treasures, Immaculates, and Flawlesses, and introduces some of the brands that I think kind of get lost in the shuffle to the collectors.
And I mean, the cost perspective too, right? I mean, we're dealing with products now that could be $30,000 a case. Well, it's probably a very small demographic of people that can actually buy a case. So in group breaks, you can cut that into 30 different ways, and then it's a little bit more affordable, right, for the customers to be involved in a case, see a case hit at a fraction of the price.
We've mentioned group breaks a little bit. What are the different kinds of breaks that you offer?
Yeah, so we do pick your team, which Dan just alluded to when he put himself in the collector's shoes, because I don't know if he is a collector, but when he put himself in the collector's shoes, you could pick your own team, which I think he'd pick the Giants and probably
Are you saying
the
I'm not
Rams.
a collector? I think now I'm going to mess you up. What's up?
I don't know. Are you a collector
Yeah, I'm a collector
of things?
I'm a collector of tons of things. I like. Okay, let me go off on the stuff that I collect, like coffee mugs. Anybody else collect coffee mugs?
No.
Every time I travel to a place, I buy a coffee mug, usually in an airport.
Okay.
So I collect those from every place I go. What else?
Are they displayed anywhere, or
Yeah,
just
actually,
like in your cabinet, no one can see?
So
They're all in his car.
They're all. Yeah, they're all in my car. No, we actually hang them up in our kitchen on these like little hooks.
Oh, cool.
So our whole kitchen is like a bunch of
I like that.
like mugs. We kind of stole the idea from a little breakfast spot that I go to locally. So
I like it.
I was like, I like that. I'm gonna start doing it. So yeah, that's one thing I collect. What
Nice.
else do I collect?
Rams jerseys.
Rams jerseys. No, I collect lanyards. This is weird. Lanyards of like from our industry events.
Oh,
Like the
that's not
like
weird.
the
That's a good thing.
like
I
the
think.
laminates.
It's a memoir.
Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I
Yeah.
have a lot of them, and I collect every one I go to. So what else do I collect? You collect like those little Disney keys.
I do collect the Disney keys.
What is that? What's a Disney?
They have like different limit. I haven't collected them in like 6 months, but I have probably about 100 of them now. But they have like different themes, like Lilo and Stitch, or like Peter Pan will come out with one, or if a new movie's coming out. So it's a key that's like designed like a Disney,
Okay.
whatever Disney movie it is, right? So it'll have like the colors, and it's in a box. So I keep it in a box.
I like it.
So that and magnets from whatever city I travel to, and it goes in the fridge. So maybe if I'm getting my coffee in the morning, I can see that. Oh yeah, I remember Nashville.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I got
That's
the
the
magnet
thing,
right there.
right.
So that's it. And
Vinyl.
and money. No, I mean vinyl. I do collect vinyl.
And
Kidding.
I also collect guitars.
Oh, how many do you have?
I have 5. I'm not allowed. Oh, and I collect shoes too. But see, the wife will not allow.
I think we
me
need a
to
whole other segment on just what we
any-
collect.
Like we've run out of room, so she's like, you cannot collect anything else. So
Yeah.
it's why I'm doing the whole house, so I can get more space, more guitars, more shoes, more mugs.
And I think the back to the group breaking thing. I think the important the important thing about that is we're having too much fun over here. Is the community aspect of it as well, right? So you're having multiple collectors that maybe have different teams meeting each other. In fact, a group of our customers that are both based in the Georgia area are meeting up. Like they've met through the chat, and then one of them's going to be in the area, and they're going to have like they're going to go to a bar together, So connecting people as well is a great aspect of, rather than just getting your box shipped and you opening it and maybe sharing it with your family, you're now sharing this online with other collectors from across the world.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot. In your day-to-day life, there's not a lot of people you run into that are card collectors.
Right.
It's getting a little bit more popular now with the way the market's changing, but you go back 5, 6, 7 years ago, you talk about it, and I would never run into somebody outside
Right.
of my like immediate circle that would even know that trading cards still exist.
Right. Would you say that this industry is only geared towards people that have collected their whole lives, or can people get into breaking that maybe this is a newfound love for them? Do you think they would be successful in it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely seeing a lot more new people jumping in. The sneaker heads kind of transitioned into sports cards during the beginning of the we call it the pandy around here because we don't want to get blocked on YouTube. But at the beginning of the pandy, they kind of jumped right into the sports cards. And that's the thing. There's a lot to learn. I'm sure what you're seeing. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different sets. There's a lot of things to know and understand. So, So, I think 5-6 years ago, I'd say it was mostly, 30 to 40 sums. But I think you're seeing the balance kind of tip more towards the younger people as well.
And do you mean people getting into doing group breaks, like performing group breaks, or getting involved in group breaks from a collector's standpoint?
I mean, I guess it could go either way, but I mean people who are wanting to do breaks themselves.
Yeah. I think that we've seen within the last 2-3 years the largest growth in the group breaking, like performing group break sector of the business. And it really has taken off with platforms like Instagram and TikTok, which seems to be super, super popular and not something that we're looking into, but we haven't really dove into.
Right.
So we need to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, the technology just gets more accessible as it's in the palm of your hands, right? But before it was, being able to only record 10-minute videos for YouTube. You couldn't even go live on YouTube back in the day, so there was other platforms that we used. So it's definitely evolved to make it easier to get in. But also as a reminder, for you guys that are thinking about getting into breaks, if you're thinking about getting into other people other than us, see what kind of skin these guys have in the game. You know what I mean? See their setup, see how many breaks they've done. Because that's one way to get scammed. Like you said, it's easy to get in, and there's a lot of unfortunate bad seeds that'll jump in. They'll do a few just to make a few extra bucks and then run away, and not be in it for the long haul. So, pay attention to some of those like warning signs of, the feed goes off, maybe the angle's bad, maybe the box wasn't open correctly, different things to kind of look out for when you're dealing with these guys. And, one of the other things is make sure you're paying like a protected way of paying, right? If you're doing PayPal goods and services, if something goes awry, you can charge back and get your money back. But if you're sending like Venmo or Cash App or, friends and family through PayPal, then you may not ever get your money back. And, you're dealing with somebody that's probably only in it for the big cash right away.
Yeah, I mean, every legitimate group breaker who's running an operation now should be able to put together a website. So I would actually stay away from operations that don't have an actual destination website.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And that's another good thing about what you should do when you get started is a website. It's pretty easy to get a website these days. They're very cheap.
Internet.
I mean, it's literally like dollars now to get your own website and get it up and running, obviously payment processing, ads and stuff like that. But you can get started on like Wix or GoDaddy for like next to nothing, right? Get a domain, get it set up. And that's one step in making yourself look legitimate.
With so many people getting into this space now, how do you differentiate yourself or compete with other breakers?
Just, being creative. There's 30 to 40 different SKUs of product in each sport in each given year. So there's a dozen different ways you can set it up. You could do, mixers. You could do double case breaks. You could do So there's that, and then just being entertaining. And I think the passion will show through to your customers, right? Mm-hmm. If you're out there and you're not like on camera and you're not like loving what you do, I think that really is the biggest issue. Is a lot of monotone guys are getting in it and they think they could do it and they get bored of it and they lose that kind of touch. So I think as long as you have the passion and the creativity mixed in, you should be able to do something very creative.
Yeah, good production goes a long way as well. Also, what I like is not like having different price points for every collector. Don't try to like just do all the high end and price the average collector out. Have those like $20 spot prices and stuff like that. I think that's key.
So when you're talking about getting those different products in, how do you guys figure out what you're bringing in to break?
Bring it in all. Everything. If they make it, we're breaking it.
I like it.
That's a slogan.
But Dan, to do a follow-up, if you say you only have because I'm sure some of these people that are starting out don't have a budget as big to buy everything. So what would you do if you only had $2,000 to spend? What would you do?
Do you want me to actually break down the products that I would buy?
No, I'm just saying, what tactics would you use if you had like just $2,000?
If I had $2,000, I would go strongly on mixers, and what mixers are just different. A single box of like different products. Like basically take a 4-box mixer and have maybe one high-end box, one low-end box, a couple mid-range boxes, and just space it out that way. So I would go mixer.
Yeah, and I would try to stick to some of your more proven brands, and I know those things get, expensive, but like your Prisms, your Optics, your Mosaics,
if you can afford
the names that are recognizable.
If you could afford
them.
I think you got to get a little bit more creative and maybe do a brand that has value that hasn't quite hit that Prism and Optic price point yet. So maybe like
Chronicles or something.
Like a Phoenix. Like if you're doing football,
yeah.
Phoenix is shiny. People like shiny. Mm-hmm. So I'd probably.
Would you lean more towards? I know this is a demographic thing, but would you lean more towards boxes that have more autographs than not, or more hits, so to speak?
I would try to, but if you couldn't, it would not be a bad idea to do something that has a lot of cards, so every person who's in the break gets something, even if it's a parallel or a couple base cards, a couple rookies. That way, really, it gets spread out and it gets everybody involved and everybody gets a shipment.
Well, like we just started at when we started in 2011, one of our first breaks was Top Series 1 Jumbo. I mean, you could get a jumbo box and for a couple $100
think
and
it
do a
took
group
me-
break with that, and everybody gets a card,
Yeah,
right?
It took me like 3 weeks to sort that. I think.
Yeah,
I think
well-
we were sorting and packing that up for a while because we were running the operation just me and you.
Yeah. But it's that's where that passion starts, right? Is seeing all those individual cards and getting to I think Dan read the stats on the back, so I took 3 weeks. He's reading everybody's
Breaking on the
bios.
side like that.
Yeah, doing the bio there, but I mean, just and also maybe sticking to products that you like to do, right? Maybe if you don't know anything about hockey, like me and Dan, you don't do hockey to start off with.
Yourself, bro.
Start with your strengths.
Yeah.
Hockey's kind of my thing.
I thought it was racing.
I'm kidding. I do love hockey, but fake it till you make
Fake
it.
it
Right?
till you make it.
Pretty much.
You guys mentioned when you were first starting out, what would you say was the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome when you were first starting out breaking?
Customers.
Filling breaks.
Yeah, filling breaks.
Filling breaks. I mean, we've always tried to run our breaks on a set schedule. But I mean, sometimes when you're starting out, you don't have the clientele, and we would have to really hustle to get the breaks filled. So we would actually send out an email blast and just have people respond with offers. Like we were just like, we'll take whatever offer you guys want to give us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that people are expecting to make money right away, and you have to sacrifice the profit in the beginning for the long-lasting clientele. Like, making sure you're taking care of those guys that are initially willing to give you a chance at the beginning, right? So making sure that their breaks are getting filled in time, their cards are getting to them in a quick period of time. What we did, and I mean, you may want to check with email list requirements now by the law, but what we did was we started on eBay. So we were selling breaks on eBay, which people still do. And then we would just make sure we would capture their emails and then kind of work off of that. Like I said, you may want to check with the email laws that if you could build newsletters without people's, consent. I mean, but back then things were different.
It was the Wild West.
It was the Wild West. So,
Anything goes.
I mean, building those. I mean, even if you can't do that, maybe send them a card in the mail saying join my mailing list. That way it's voluntary. But making sure you kind of hold on to all of those customers, getting them in the know. Even like, I know text messaging people do now, getting them maybe on a text list that like, hey, 5 left, and it comes right to their phone. All these different ways to keep these guys in the know and keep them happy, and just expect at the beginning you're not probably going to make profit. You're thinking more long term.
Right. Well, nowadays with social media, I'm sure it's a lot easier to kind of reach people and get them going. I know that customers obviously are the main driving force behind this, but I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that there's certain expectations or things that customers have. So what would you guys say is maybe something like a negative thing that customers have kind of different expectations that they have, I guess, that you've had to address?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, and it's something that it's hard to address, but like if you're dealing with a product that has 10 cards and there's 30 teams. So right off the bat, if there's 10 different cards, there's only 10 people getting. That's best case scenario. 10 people, 10 teams get a card, 20 people get nothing, right? So and that's hard, because it's whatever comes out of the box. But making sure that you maybe have some kind of thing for them, and they're very aware that there's a chance that they don't get something if they're dealing in those high-end breaks like Flawless. There's only 10 cards a box, 20 cards in a case. So there's a chance you might buy something, you might not get anything. So, kind of dealing with those. Or if it's like a case that there's like, 7 Vikings out of the 10 cards, and then everybody's bummed that there was 7 Vikings. Of course, the guy with the 7 Vikings, he's happy. He's stoked, but everybody else is complaining. So, kind of dealing with that, and just making sure you keep people happy, and if something is off from the manufacturer, like they're missing a hit, you take care of it rather than like putting the blame on them. Like if we're short a card, then we'll eat that and put the card in,
right.
And making sure that the room and your customer base is always as happy as they can be.
Yeah, I mean, I think Amazon has actually changed everybody's expectations for e-commerce in general. Like, I mean, you'll buy something and it's literally on your doorstep like the next day.
Right.
Doing group breaks, there's a lot of hours that go into it. There's a lot of time it takes to, sort, 3,000 cards. There's no way that any group breaker is going to be able to perform at the level and expectations that big corporations like Amazon. So I'm from a consumer standpoint, maybe temper your expectations on delivery a little bit, especially if it's a case break of 6,000 cards, it's probably not going to be shipped out in a day.
Right.
Especially if it's a group breaker that's running any type of substantial volume.
Right.
But I think that's kind of the society we live in now. I buy something, I want it now.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that is key is, for 10 years, we've never notified one single person out of our large customer base when we post breaks, because there is more desirable teams than others, right? So, like, you're taking the example of last year of basketball, it was LaMelo Ball, and he was the number 1 rookie for the Hornets. Well, obviously, there's a line of people wanting to buy them, right? And when we post a break, there's only one of those available. So, we've been bribed. We've been told, like, hey, I'll buy 10 in advance. I'll buy 20 in advance. And we've made sure that the transparency, because if you cater to one person and then, you're alienating the rest of the hobby that may jump in and want the Hornets.
Right.
So we make sure that when we post those style of breaks that we post them at random times. Nobody's notified. There's no notifications at all of when it's going to be posted, just for that reason. That way it's anybody has a chance. Whether you're on the East Coast, maybe you get a chance when I post them at 6 a.m, or if it's maybe if you're overseas and I'm posting them at midnight, it's your morning time for you. So we've always taken that philosophy, and I've heard other breakers that cater to the bigger spenders.
So you show no favoritism.
Right.
That's what you're
showing no in a nutshell there is showing no favoritism. Because I think that goes a long way, because then if you lose that guy, maybe he's not happy with you, and then he tells other customers that, well, hey, they were pulling teams for me.
Yeah.
And then how does that look? That's like, well, that's why, because people already think that we do that. We get those emails already, like, we just got one on Monday where it was like, can you let me know when this next break posts, because I want to grab this team, assuming your customers grab the team, or maybe not. He put, like, alluding to the fact
that email 95% of the time, it's always the hottest team in any given product. So that team is always going to be the one that's going to sell first.
Right. And that's what specifically when you're doing pick your team, right?
Right.
Random is different, where everybody has a shot at one of the 32 teams. But the pick your team is, where it is, where those teams are in demand and they people want to grab them right away.
Yeah, and we've never held the marquee or the popular teams or the most valuable teams back. There's companies that hold those teams back, and they dangle it as a carrot to buy other teams that are not as desirable to get a chance at the really good team or the really desirable team. Mm-hmm. And we've never done that.
Yeah, and that's what they call a filler in the industry. So, like, say and we stay away from them. I mean, I'm not going to bash on the people that do them. I don't feel like they're very lawful, but basically it's like, I'll put on my listing that, hey, I'm not going to sell the Hornets, but you could buy every other team. So then when it gets to there's like 15 teams left out of the 30, they'll take those 15 and then the Hornets, which would make 16, and they'll do some math and figure out, well, it's now $600 a spot. One person's going to get the Hornets, and then the remaining 15 are going to get one of those other teams that didn't sell.
Right.
So they use that as a kind of a sales tag. I mean, I understand the economics of it all, but I feel like that's and they only do that when they're live, right? So I feel like, as a business, I need to make things available to everybody at all times, right? I feel like that is exclusive to those people at that time, and you're alienating a lot of other customers.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a good point.
We've never done it that way.
Never will.
Never have, never will. So, and it just, more of a moral thing for us to not do it that way. And we never will.
Well, before we go, is there anything else that you guys want to add about breaking, how to be a breaker, what the people need to know?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is there's a lot of negativity in this hobby at times. And I think to block that out, you're going to get really bad emails. They're going to blame you for not getting cards, because it's just easy to place the blame when there's buyer remorse after the fact. I mean, obviously we don't force people to buy, but there are some people that maybe spend more than they need to, or that their budget allows. We're not privy to how much their budget is. But I feel like some of that is like, used in a negative fashion towards you, and you got to be able to bounce that off. You got to deal with some crazy emails and not let that affect you, and not let the squeaky wheel that gets the grease drown out your positive customers that don't say anything, right? Because you don't need to say anything if you like the service, if you like the breaks. There doesn't really nothing need to be said. So a lot of times I think breakers only see the negative because that's the only things they're only getting emails that are negative. Well, just because there's 5 negative emails, there's 10,000 other people that are really happy with your service. So you gotta focus on them and try to make the situation the best that you can with the negative emails. But sometimes there's just some people that are just unpleasable, and you're just gonna have to deal with that.
Right.
Yeah, just love what you do every day, and don't get burnt out. And that's not only from running a breaking operation, but also from a collector standpoint. It could be a little overwhelming at times, and if you ever feel like you're getting burnt out, take a break.
You collect mugs then.
You collect Disney keys, which is probably way more expensive than trading cards because it says Disney on it. A piece of plastic. $800.
Diversify your collecting portfolio one way or the other. Right?
But yeah, if you're ever getting burnt out, take a step back from as a collector, and the industry will still be here when you want to come back. And also, don't feel like you need to collect everything. That's a quick way of going broke.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Jeff Bezos money, then whatever, you can get in any break you want.
Or rich money.
Yeah,
they're one in the same, right?
He's watching this shit.
I know. I gotta see him in like a week, so I'm gonna do this. So it'll,
yeah. He probably doesn't watch this anyway. But anyways, yeah, I mean, don't. That's a good point because you see it. Like somebody will come in and they'll be their first break. And then, we always call that like newbie mojo, we call it, right? And they get a card and it's big and they're awesome, right? So then they're there every day buying more and more. And the odds are going to go against you at some point. I mean, I'll say it this way. Breaking is not profitable. It's not a profitable thing if you continue to buy into breaks. It's more entertainment, and you may get that big card now and then, and that's the chase. I mean, nobody wants to go to that, fishing pond that's self-made, and you're guaranteed to catch a fish.
Yeah,
people want to go in the ocean.
Have you gone
and catch
fishing?
that big fish?
Have you gone fishing?
I have.
It's so hard to catch a fish,
right?
So I think you want to go in the man-made pond. Don't you want to be a winner?
No, that's not exciting. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to
sit out there.
It's
for like
easy for me
12
to just
hours and not even get a bite, and it's pretty discouraging.
It's easy for me to just buy this on eBay. I know what I'm getting.
Hey, what is it?
But if I bought it's a Kevin Durant
cool.
auto. But if I bought the Thunder and I hit that, that's exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like, I hit this, and that's what I was, that's what I was trying to chase.
There's way, I mean, and we've had customers. There's ways of getting in the breaks and either breaking even or making money, but you got to go in with like a substantial bankroll, and and it has to be disposable revenue. I stay away from like, am I going to put gas in my car or buy into a group break?
Right. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, and that goes with anything, right?
Yeah.
But,
Right.
I'd stay away from that.
Yeah, it's a hobby.
situation.
It's meant to be, and that's another great thing
meant to be
about
fun, right?
It's meant to be
Yeah.
fun.
Meant to
Yeah,
be
it's not
fun.
supposed to be
Fun times.
stressful. Because we get these emails and there are people stressed out. It's like, man, this is fun. Like, why are you so stressed out, right? So,
Right.
Hobby shouldn't be stressful.
No, it should be your escape from, and that's the beauty of it is it's on YouTube, and a lot of guys of our customers will, they'll buy in the beginning of the day, and then when they get their kids put to bed or they get off from work, they watch it on YouTube, and that's their entertainment for the day, right? Seeing what they got, what cards are coming.
Right.
And then it's a whole other experience when they get the cards, what they're going to decide to do. Are they going to get them graded? Are they going to sell them? And, it's definitely a thing that's a hobby.
I like it.
Fun.
Yeah, like
Like
Rebecca Black.
the great Rebecca Black.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for answering some questions for us. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you are interested in online breaks, be sure to check us out at mojobreak.com, where breaks are scheduled and guaranteed to fill.